Welcome to the AI Automations for Business podcast. We're your hosts, Katie and Noel, and we'll be discussing how you can use AI for your business along with the latest news, updates, and automations to help you stay ahead of the curve, allowing you to grow and scale your business more efficiently. Please be sure to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, welcome back to another episode. Hi, I'm Katie, and as always, I have Noel here with me today. How you doing, Noel?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. All good. Any news updates from the AI world this week?
So Anthropic thought that they'd have another breach of data last week. Not personal data, nothing crazy like that, but
Okay,
they accidentally released all of the source code for Claude Code, and currently Claude Code's like the best coding platform for AI, and yeah, it's given all of their competitors a brief look under the hood just to see how it all works, how it fits together, and yeah, bit of a whoopsie, but but yeah, who knows? It might spark some more updates and things like that. So they'll probably make it even better. There's then going to be competitive products, so they're then going to try and match Claude Code in some of their areas and stuff like that. So yeah, not a good thing, but it could also be a good thing in the long run. Who knows?
okay.
Yeah.
Interested.
Yeah. They've had one whoopsie a week so far. It's not going very well. Yeah.
So do you think it's actually like a safe platform to continue using?
It is, yeah, because they haven't leaked anything that's like user related. It's just source code. And then, the leak the week before was somebody found articles that hadn't been published yet, which were publicly kind of available. So yeah, there's nothing like worrying about the API. No one can see what's going on there or what's going on in your chats. It's just, their internal processes, I think, and bits like that are not so good.
So nothing for the user to worry about?
No. I mean, I've got Claude Code doing their job for me now, so while we're doing this podcast. Keep me busy.
You're still using it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What are we talking about this week now?
So I thought we'd do a bit of a deep dive into lead qualification this week. So yeah, I think
do you want to explain a little bit more about lead qualifications and how we can automate them, I guess?
So somebody has, come into your business. That could be via a form, it could be DMs, it could be, whichever way in which you, track and get your traffic. And basically what we're doing is we're doing some quality checks to make sure that particular personal business, fits what the services that we offer. And there's a number of ways of which we can do that, thankfully, using AI and automation.
Brilliant. No more manually checking.
No. Gone are the days of Googling, looking at company websites, trying to find people on LinkedIn or whichever social media platform they've come from. Yeah, we don't have to do that manually anymore, thankfully. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Mm.
Okay, so for example, you're getting people in asking to work with you, however you work with people, whether it's coaching, consulting, a course, a membership program, a mastermind, maybe it is like a service you provide. So maybe they filled out a form on your website, maybe they've been referred to you and they've sent you an email, or maybe they've even just sent you a DM, because I feel like so many people now just come through DMs and not actually like through forms on website as much as they used to.
No, it's very true. Yeah, we're all addicted to social media, and it just makes it easy, doesn't it, to just DM somebody?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you're interested in working with someone, most people, I think, would just reach out via DM nowadays.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So Yeah, so they've either filled out a form, they've been referred, and maybe they've sent you an email or they've sent you a DM. What can we now do to check that maybe they qualify? So maybe like you run a particular mastermind, but people have to have either a certain amount of income per year or they have had to have been in business for a set amount of years. Maybe you're doing like some consulting work, but you only work with people, I don't know, who have got a business where they employ 10 or more people.
Hmm.
Maybe someone wants help with their membership, but you only work with people who earn either a certain amount of money per month or have got, say, like over 500 members. Whereas before, we would have to go and manually check all of this before
Yes.
we sent a reply. But now, thankfully, AI and automations can do this for us.
They can, yes. So I guess it kind of depends on the type of questions that you ask. So if you've got like the old school form on a website, you've probably kind of got some of those questions on there. So you might have
Yeah.
thresholds for certain, employees or revenue and things like that. So that might already be there. When it comes to DMs, that's potentially a little bit more difficult, but not impossible. So someone could go, I really like the look of this. I would like to sign up. But that there's not really a lot to go on with that. But what
Mhm.
we could do at that point is we could feed that through to AI and then get it to them ask follow-up questions. So it would be like, well, could you tell me a bit more about you and your business? And and as that conversation builds up, we can then build that picture. So then we can say, well, right, okay, they've met that criteria. So send them, a link to either sign up to like a one-to-one call or, to a sales page or whatever, send them that link. Or, we could then send them down a different route and then say, well, look, you didn't quite qualify for this. You could do this instead. So I think DMs is a little bit more tricky in that sense because they're kind of like conversational, aren't they? They're, it's kind of a back and forth, whereas a web form is already static and filled out. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
but I have found though, people have filled out forms on my website
mhm.
and I've got on a call with them and they don't actually qualify.
Yeah, that's the worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Don't need that. No, because
No.
that's a complete waste of everyone's time, isn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, so
So
what
is
we
there a
can,
way almost to like double check the information that they put on the
yes,
form almost?
yes. So whatever information you gather, like ideally would want to grab their website. So that's probably one thing you will need to get. So that could either be like them putting it in directly, or you could infer that from their email address. So if they don't have a Outlook or Gmail account, they're using their business email, we can filter that last part out and then that's their website, so we can go and have a look. So that's the first check, would be the website. We can also use tools through a platform called Appify. So let's say they've come to you via Instagram, and that's where your businesses and people you work with come from. We could go off, grab their profile information and things like that straight from Instagram, and use AI to then double check everything, check any URLs or links they have on that particular page, and
Yeah.
then see how well they qualify. When it comes to, I guess, more like uh, I guess Instagram is kind of one area, but you've also got like LinkedIn. You could do more in-depth looks there on LinkedIn. So if they've got a company page, that does then show you the number of employees they've got and all that sort of stuff. So you could go down that route. And if you want to get really into the weeds with like revenue, like in the UK, you could scrape Companies House. So that's where we file all of our business accounting returns and things like that. So there is APIs for that to go off and grab that data. So that all kind of depends on the country you're in. But you could go off and find that information and then use that to qualify them.
Okay. So for example, if you've done this AI automation, they come
Mhm.
back and they qualify, what would be the next step?
So the next step, I guess, in your automation would be to then send them either the links to, either book a call or, to pay for something. So it could be going to your sales page and then signing up for a particular service. So yeah, that's kind of where you would end up at. I mean, obviously then after that, you would have, different automations to then send those links to like emails or send it back to them in the DMs and things like that. But that's kind of where we would go if they qualified.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about those automations last week, didn't we, on last week's episode of the podcast, about how you can like automate almost like a part of your onboarding. So, when someone says that they want to go ahead and work with you, then, you can send them the invoice automatically, and then that triggers the contract, and then that triggers like a calendar link for them to book in their first call.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think when we also get down to, when we go back to sending information back to them, as soon as we've gathered all this information about them already, it'd be silly not to use it. So I know a lot of, I get loads of, especially like cold emails. No one bothers to personalize them.
Goodness, I have got so many lately. Like, I have put so many in the spam and reported so many. Like, they're so bad.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, Noel, like they're bad, not because they're like automated or whatever. They're bad because they've not been personalized.
Yes.
So a lot of the emails I get as well aren't even relevant to my business. It's almost like they scraped my business like in 2018 and hasn't been updated almost since.
Yeah.
Which is quite entertaining, because where have you got that information from?
Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think when you've gone through all of this process to get that data, it doesn't take a lot to personalize those messages back. So you could have an AI module within your automation and say, well, look, this is like their website, the copy from the website. So on there, they could have won an award or something. It's within the footer or whatever, or they do a specific service, and you could be like, well, here's the link to book in a call. I look forward to discussing your business, whatever that name is, and talking about these services that you provide. And then you can list everything about what's currently on their homepage. So straight away, when somebody reads that, they go, oh, okay, someone's actually bothered to take the time to read. Well, let's say we. I mean, no one video. You literally haven't had to read it, thankfully. But yeah, it gives that impression that somebody cares. And has done a bit of research and due diligence. Yeah,
and I think that goes such a long way. Actually, not trying to get as many of these emails out as possible, but to show actually people that you do care, you have taken the time to find out information about them, because I think a lot of times people don't sign up with people because there's like lack of trust. And I think as soon as you start investing and caring about people, that does create the trust. So even if you do like take, I don't know, like 2 minutes to go and watch their Instagram stories yourself, or to go and look at their LinkedIn and just, see what they're commenting on and interacting with. It could be that they've been tagged in a post because they attend an event. And these are the little things that you could mention, and, you're not coming off like as a stalker, but as someone who actually cares, and they can tell that actually, this person doesn't see me as yet another number. They see me as a person, as a business. They've taken time to go in, look up my business, see what I'm doing, see what I've been up to. They've clearly been on my website. And I think that goes a really, really long way.
It does, yeah. I think it's also quite important to not forget the human in the loop side as well. So
Yeah.
although you could completely fully automate and never look at this again and just show up to the call, that's probably not the best thing to do. But you could save like these draft emails in your in your draft folders. So all you've got to do is just read through and check before sending. So this automation could create like a row in your spreadsheet or CRM with all of the links and stuff like that, so you could go off and just triple check. Maybe you want to do a bit more reading about this person or business, and then just make sure that what you're sending back is actually accurate, because sometimes it could go one of two ways. Kind of is either really accurate or it's kind of had a good go, but it's not quite 100% there. So it's always good to have that human in the loop element, I find.
Yeah, we always say, don't we, like if you're allowing AI and automations to draft your email, for it not to send automatically, but to put in your draft folder. So all you do have to do is come in and check it. And maybe that is where you add a little bit more of the personalization. So maybe you have watched their Instagram stories and they've just returned from a holiday. You can say, I hope you're well and get back into the swing of things after your holiday. It looked amazing from your Instagram stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It goes a long way, doesn't it? to add that, just that little personal touch.
Yeah. Rather than like some of the emails that I've been getting, and I've actually got one here. Hey, Katie, just resurfacing the below email, which I've obviously just put straight into spam.
Yeah.
To get you involved in our, and I'm guessing it's product program, as I thought this could be a strong fit for you. And then it goes, there's a lot of jargon in this. So I don't actually know what actually know what they're trying to sell to me.
Oh, that's not good.
And then it says, for this edition, we're partnering with organisations, and then they list out a load of organisations that I've never heard of. Contributing to be set to be a dynamic and insight-rich event. Do you want to set up a call?
No.
No, I don't. Because I don't actually really know what you're offering me. So I would say that is an example of a pretty bad automated email. Oh, I do have another one.
Oh,
Hi,
dear.
Katie. We help Business Wonderland modernize legacy applications without disrupting operations. Build AI-powered software on scalable and secure architecture, and deliver quality assurance and continuous delivery that ships faster with fewer bugs. I have no idea, again, what they're trying to sell me. That was just like AI slop.
But they've well, as I know your business, they haven't looked at it because you don't have any software that you're selling.
No.
Not to my knowledge. I mean, you could have created it last week with Claude. I don't know, but
Wow, I didn't want to tell you what I was up to.
it was late nights staring at your screen.
Do you even know who I am? Late night?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
Late night with AI. I think you've got the wrong girl.
Oh dear. Yeah, but they're really good examples, though, is it? Because like there's something that they could have looked on your website, at least added something personable to it, and they're all just incredibly generic. So obviously one of the other good things is to obviously add in your brand voice into any of your responses that you do, whether it's DMs or emails or whatever.
Yeah.
So at least when they get on a call with you, your responses back to them, it kind of sounds like you, so they kind of understand. They kind of get your language, before that call, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
because that to me was just a lot of jargon that I did not understand. So why am I even going to think about getting on a call or even hiring these people?
Mm,
And that's
yeah.
what we don't want for you, you know, who are listening right now.
Mm,
We want people to be like 100% this person's for me, like, and they can just tell by the email or, you know, the DM responses that
mhm,
you have sent them back. And like we were saying, it all comes down to that personalization. It comes about trust and taking time to really know the people, add in, you know, those little things. So people know that you're not just treating them like another lead or another number, that you actually care.
mm,
Because I think when I've reached out to some people like who have been offering, I don't know, like services or coaching or masterminds, and some of the responses I've got, I just think, gosh, if this is the response I've got and I've not even entered your world, like I don't even want to know what it's like in your world, because the first impressions is just so important.
mm, yeah. Yeah. You don't get a second chance at those.
No, you don't. And
Yeah.
I just think, like, if someone is reaching out to you, make them feel like special. Like, ideally, like I like not a lot of people remember what it was like the first time someone reached out to them and say, "Hey, I want to work with you."
Mm,
But the response should be that vibe. Like, it's the first person that's ever reached out
mm,
and said, "Hey, I want to work with you."
yeah. Yeah. Should be special, shouldn't it? You know. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It should feel special to the person who's reaching out. Like, oh my
Mm,
goodness, that's so amazing that you want to work with me.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah. Can't wait to speak to you. Is
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, really looking forward to finding out more about how I can help you in your business.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't
I
take a
mean,
lot.
yeah, if you don't speak like that, then obviously just, you know, make it to however you would message someone.
Mm, yeah.
But
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's that initial excitement. It's that beginner energy. You know, we had that beginner energy when we first started our businesses, and
Mm,
we lose it after a while. But I feel like it's really important to keep that in correspondence with
mm,
anyone who's reaching out to want to work with you.
yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. You'll get far richer leads from that, won't you?
Yeah,
At
for
least people
sure.
that want to work for you, with you long term as well. It's building that relationship, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
exactly. Anything else, Noel, that we can talk about lead qualifications and automating them with
Ooh.
AI, or anything else that you can think of?
I guess kind of like a quick tip when you're looking up all this sort of information and doing and searching is what I would say is maybe have a look down at the Perplexity. So when I ever do any sort of lead or searching within any sort of automation, I always use Perplexity because that gives you a more rounded search response. So yeah, if you're doing anything in depth and want to do some digging, then I would definitely include that within there. And their API is really reasonable as well. I can't quote the exact price for input and output tokens, but yeah, I always found it was really good and the responses are
Yeah,
brilliant. And yeah, if you then pass that then on to the AI who's going to be drafting responses and things like that, it'll have everything that it needs, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, we'll check that out because I know not many people have heard of most of the platforms that we use on a daily or weekly basis. So yeah, I thought I'd throw that one in.
that is an amazing tip, Noel. And for more amazing tips like this, as well as hand holding through automations like we've discussed in this podcast episode, we would love to invite you into our membership, the AI Business Club. We host it over on the school platform. It's $37 per month. We would absolutely love for you to join us. You can ask questions, get help, build automations, get super confident with AI for your business, and stop generating AI slop. We'll leave the link for you below. We also have a free LinkedIn group called AI Automations for Business. Anyone is welcome to join that. Like I said, completely free. Thank you so very much for listening to this week's episode. If you've got any questions or want us to cover anything, then let us know over at hello@makeautomation.ai, and we will catch you for another episode next time.